How's everybody doing here? Okay, so I started trying to make a video and see where I could go and try to use it as a self-help therapy tool, maybe. I get very frustrated sometimes. I'm a truck driver, 72. I'm looking at the politics. And I think everybody, I was looking today that the governors are down in Texas. I didn't know he was in a wheelchair, Governor Abbott. I'm like, God bless this man. Anyhow, there was like 11, with a border crisis. I'm born and raised in this country. I'm from Texas, blah, blah, blah. Basically, I'm a screw up from a long time ago. I got 43 years clean and sober by the grace of God. And, I'm alive, and I was looking at Sammy the Bull and Michael Franzese, the Mafia guys, and they kind of inspired me. I lived in New York in the 70s. They kind of inspired me as guys that got in trouble. They did their time. I got probation, but from where I come from, I'm not stupid. I'm educated. That alcoholism really messes you up. So in a way, because I'm looking at them, they're from Brooklyn, and so many people, even in El Paso, have issues today. Is how come everybody's got more money than me? And my lady friend in California says, well, you should have started working when you're younger. Yeah, I should have done a lot of stuff. I should have gone into service for a couple of years back. But when the draft is 1967, you're going straight to Nam. They're telling me you're coming back in a body bag. So I'm like 18 and put that on hold. I went to community college for 2 years. And back in the 50s and 60s, you go in peacetime. Basically, you go 2 years. And that's, when you're that age, you go in there, you work out a little bit, the discipline does you good. You get away from your parents. You kind of grow up a little bit. From El Paso, Texas, at Fort Bliss over here, the guys used to, the GIs used to go in and they had access. Of course, you're getting paid every week. You got 3 meals a day and a place to sleep and all that. You clean up, shower and all that. They would buy a little old car, a Chevrolet or something. It was usually Chevy or Ford back then. And it picks up their cars to take it to the motor pool, they used to call it. My 2 brothers were in the Navy and my brother-in-law was in the Air Force. The local guys from high school were drinking and BSing with, guys got uncles or cousins or fathers or older brothers that went in the service, and conversation always seems to get back around to it. So that's where I get my information. My buddy was from England, and he met somebody. I went up to see him, I think, in Oregon back in '65. We had a rock and roll. He had another buddy, a brand new Charger back then, and I think in 60. No, that was 67. No, I'm thinking I got ahead of myself. Anyhow, we went on to an Air Force base. The officers' club, you can drink. They have their own bar, which the regular enlisted guys couldn't go on there. Not NCO club, they used to call it, for the enlisted, I believe. Long time ago. Sometimes I'm starting to forget stuff, but I get most of it. It's been so long. And anyhow, we went on base there. I think they were checking at all, really. I don't know, maybe you had to tell them you're an American citizen. That's why I get so upset with these immigrants that are coming in, act like they own the place, that attitude. It was just, like I say, in peacetime, we're Americans. We used to have a beautiful Ozzie and Harriet type world. I mean, there's always poverty and stuff, but I don't know. I guess I was blessed. I didn't see it. We were kind of middle class, as they call it. But I mean, you had to go out of your way when you was in elementary school or high school. Well, we was basically in El Paso, it was white, brown, and black people. Hispanic and black people and white people. The Mexicans, they used to have like the lowriders. They used to wear khaki pants with white A shirts, those T-shirts that like they wear in prison. But they used to wear that. They used to call them locally here in El Paso. They used to call them the khakis or the khaki bandits. And they were, generally speaking, a little meaner than the average guy. So but they were respectful. I never had no problem with them. I mean, I don't like people looking at me or staring at me, but I never had no problem with these guys, with these people. So anyhow, you really in other words, you got to go out of your way to get in trouble with them. When we started drinking, of course, right away the trouble begins. Playing in a rock and roll band downtown. I'm going to incriminate myself, but it's so long ago. There's downtown bars in El Paso. They would hire our rock and roll band. We had a manager. I can't even remember the guy. I was probably drinking way too much. But says, hey, I got a gig for you. We make with $10. We play 4 hours, 3 hours, and an hour break. 15-minute break between sets. You play like an hour, 45-minute sets. So we got hired at these, what they call them, GI bars along downtown, the Goldfinger. That's when James Bond had just come out. Went down there and started asking for a pitcher of draft beer. That was big stuff when we were 14. And nobody said nothing. We got $10. Back in 64, 65, that was good money. Hard to imagine anymore. Pack of cigarettes now. I smoke these Pall-Malls or Camels, and man, they're like $11 now, and they're talking about they're gonna start charging the tobacco smokers for. Why me, Lord? Well, why me? And the Lord asked the Lord, why me? And he says, why not? So I pay. You want to, got to pay to play. I like to smoke. I love it and I hate it. I smoked since I was out of high school and in 50-something years. I mean, I'm still alive. I don't have cancer, thank God, and knock on wood. I look at it. I'm so friggin' busy. I got so much stuff going on and frustration and everything. It calms me down for a while, and that's what I do. That's a AA thing. Coffee and cigarettes. Back in the '60s, the American dream was a martini and a cigarette, Cadillac, and a good-looking woman. I'm trying to change and adapt as I go. I just listened to Bernie Sanders, but he's talking today about. He's an old goat. He's like from Brooklyn, an old Jew. I look at him. I lived in the East Village back in the '70s. He's like a guy that lived next door, and you bullshit with the guy. You talk to him. He's in such a hurry. Hey, Bernie, you're an old motherfucker. Slow down. The way the right Republicans choosing all that got 25-year anniversary. I listen to them, but I also noticed that it's kind of propaganda. That's a 1950s term. They tear into Bernie Sanders like he's garbage, a socialist communist. Now, I'm wondering, he looks to me like somebody that's been in New York his whole life. That's why I look at Michael Franzese and Sammy the Bull and others, and myself included, where I lived in New York for 12 years. You're either rich or poor. I was poor. But I look at guys, I think it's good. New York, if you're young and you want to work down Wall Street or sell real estate, I mean, you can make money if you hustle, whatever. You stay out of trouble. The history is like I'm listening to Sammy you know, and this other guy from Brooklyn is the grandparents. The grandparents. Now you're going way back, way back. The grandparents were from Sicily. They came over. So many immigrants. Ellis Island. The Statue of Liberty and all that. So many people came to the country, and they told. I worked down Wall Street, and they told me to. These guys were older. I was like 20, 21, and 22. And they says, my grandparents came over, or my parents came over from the old country, they used to call it, and said they kissed the ground when they got it, fleeing from oppression. So there was a whole different kind of attitude. It wasn't an entitlement attitude. But getting back to like Bernie, I was wondering if Bernie, poor guy, he's old now, and I'm thinking, I wonder, I know he got money, but why don't you come out to, I'm from Texas, but I've been over there outside Austin. I drive truck all over. I was over there 2 years ago. I left El Paso, went to Austin, Texas. Had a load over there, so I went to pick it up. And as I'm coming 5,200 miles west of Austin, you start, El Paso's desert. But when you get into Central America, around the Dallas area, going in the middle of the state, you start getting vegetation, trees and bushes and grass and stuff. I mean, we got trees and grass out here, but it's desert. And I see these. I'm going down. I think it's 180, Highway 180. I'm not in a hurry. I got to pick up like in 2 days or 2.5, 3 days, something like that. I'm doing 50 miles an hour. The old U.S. highway before the interstate. The interstates are so overcrowded. You can't. I love to look around when I'm driving. That's a pleasure. And you used to do that. I go back to the old highways. There's a lot of times there's not as much traffic, but the problem is you got stoplights every little town, about every 20, 30, 40 miles, you got a little town. You got to slow down and stop and all that. No big deal, but you got to downshift and hit the brake, but the next day your knees are hurting. You put the clutch in when you're downshifting. And but if I got time and I'm not too tired, you got a couple of bucks, you pull in a little truck stop or something, grab yourself a hamburger, coffee or something. But people are a little friendlier. But I'm also noticing as you're getting closer to Austin, outside of country setting, and I see these farms and ranches that are I'm going to say maybe, 5, 10, 20 acres, 40 acres, maybe 100 acres of huge ranches. You can see them. I mean, you're driving along the highway. They used to build the ranches right next to the highway, and they got a beautiful house in the back, driveway, fence, all that. That's money. And they got cattle, horses, dogs, whatever, pickup trucks. I'm thinking, man, that'd be nice to live like that. But of course, it's a lot of money compared. I lived in L.A. and New York, and I was in Boston and the Cape for a while. Cape is really, it's old, but if you want to buy an old wooden house that Bob Vila used to do, what was the name of that show? This Old House. Yeah, he used to, I think it was Spanish, but he'd work on these old houses, fix them up a little bit, paint them, whatever. Beautiful, beautiful, because the people, they run out of money, and they get a divorce or something. They let the house go. The next thing, nobody's bought it for 20 years. It's kind of deteriorated. So if you go in there and fix it up, they're beautiful old houses in a nice old setting. And but like everything else, you go ask how much is this house, a little house that used to be $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $150,000, $200,000. It was my alcoholism kicks me in the butt because I got education and work experience, and I got 129 IQ. I should have been, a doctor or something, and now I'd be probably retiring and all that. But I mean, nicely. So you can't have it. But I look at it, I said, well, God. I ask God, I pray to God, and I ask God to lead my footsteps, because I don't know what's going on anymore. You get, and I say, what? You don't want to do nothing stupid. You just want to get by, kind of. So I just, I'm trying this. I'm trying the stock market. If I can make some money or get lucky in my older years, maybe I can live out my dream. I tried to, go fund me, and I had a disabled son, so that was the motivation. But he died 12 years ago, and I'm trying to regroup, basically. I said, well, how am I supposed to act? I'm 72 now. If I go talking to a girl, like at the truck stop, talking to a young lady, oh, boom, there's everybody in the place turns around, looks, oh, that old guy there, he's talking. My mother was a Girl Scout leader since when I was a kid, and we always had girls over at the house. I was young in elementary school. I wasn't interested in girls. They were kind of pain in the neck. But I don't worry about them. If I'm talking to you, like, how you doing? Or usually they're self-sufficient. I just kind of look at them, or I'll stand out the truck stop, and I'll see them come in and get gas or something, and most of them nowadays, they all got a brand new car and a little boyfriend, or they got the mother and the sister with them. Yeah, I'm on my own, but I don't want to look like a lecherous old man or a pervert. When I was in New York, there's like 2 million secretaries a day. I mean, they'll come up to you. And, I grew up out west. That's new to me. I was always chasing the girls over there. They're there. So I never really had no problem. Once in a while, you just, she ain't in the mood and you ain't, drunk or something. But I used to hitchhike up in Cape Cod. I was like 21, and I'd be hitchhiking out there Saturday morning, be drinking all Friday night, Saturday morning, trying to get up to Cape Cod, go dancing, whatever. Friggin' high school girls, they're out there with a parent's car, or station wagon or something. They'll stop and pick you up. How you doing? Where you from? Where you going? Da 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 da. That's, 5 or 10 minutes. I'll give you a little ride to the highway or the freeway entrance or something. And well, it was a highway back then. I used to take Route 6, I think it was. And they give you a ride, a couple of miles, 5 or 10 minutes. Or maybe I had to bum a quarter off them to get a beer, get started drinking, etc. I mean, we used to drink back then. Like I said, I was down on Wall Street. These guys, the Francis Tavern, George Washington, had drank there back in the whenever he was president, back in 1776 or whatever. As an old historic bar. And I used to be a runner down Wall Street. I'd be going by the bar in the morning taking paperwork from one broker to the next, stock bond and bonds and all that. They need to sign this shit, whatever. So you walk past the Francis Tavern at 9:30, 10 in the morning. There's all these booze bottles, like a case, and I says, well, maybe they're cleaning up every day. And people after work, man, they put it away. These are the movers and the shakers. So, that was some crazy stuff. That was I'm talking 50 years ago. I just put it out there because, the young ones, I look at them like right now on this YouTube thing. I guess you got to go by community standards. You can't get too. I got to watch my language a little bit, but and get your subscribers and viewers and all that, and you can make a little money at it. Put some ads in there. I just learned that right now about 15 minutes ago. And I'm looking at it because what I do on a computer, I look at stuff, and I love the YouTube channel. They got so many documentaries and stuff. I like to learn and educate myself as to what's going on. They robbed my house 4 times. They got my TV. I'm just barely getting back right after my son died. That was like 12 years ago. I was basically mourning him for 10 years. I don't know what to do. Just kept working, but anyhow, I use this as my television or my entertainment for the night. I said, I'm listening to the politicians, God bless them, but with his Trump thing. And, I'm wondering what's going on anymore. And I look at so many of the governors, and I'm listening to them a couple hours ago. I'll put a suit and tie on. I got one felony. I'm going to eventually ask the judge to throw that out in New York State, but I'm looking. I might tell the judge, hey, I might run for public office. You got a felony, you can't do. Well, you can, I believe. I read that a long time ago in an ACLU book back in the 80s. If you've been to prison and you got out, you can run for public office. But if you're on probation, I had probation, you can't do that. So if I get rid of that felony, I don't know. It's so involved. I just as soon half the time drive my truck, go out there, bust my behind, and you come back, you got a little money, you pay your bills. I'm fixing up my 68 Cadillac and fixing up this old house I live in. It takes every penny almost. I got a little bicycle. I had some cars. Just trying to stay afloat, as they say. So, but I'm looking at these people, and I says, well, if it's $100, a $200, a $500 suit, like John Gotti used to wear, what, $5,000, $3,000, $5,000 suits. I can't even see how that costs that much. But what kind of material do you use? What the heck, But how much is too much? How much is enough? But I'm looking with the younger ones. As an older guy, I tried to look at them like, well, I was looking at this jerk off at the Ace Hardware the other day. That big kind of these younger people, bigger. I'm the tallest one in my family. I shrunk. I'm like 5'10" now. My mother was 5'1", and my dad was 5'2", something like that. Now every generation gets bigger, but I look at these younger ones, like some of the truck drivers, they're 400 pounds. They're huge. And I try to talk to them, and they never have no conversation. They got the shaped head, or the flip flops in the shorts. Hey, when you grow up, I want to tell them, when you grow up, are you going to buy yourself a pair of pants? You're a truck driver now. You're going to kick out some money and buy a pair of pants like a man, or that's the old school. But I look at this, they all got the shorts on and the black socks. Don't wear black socks, you wear white socks. I have to work on my attitude and my upbringing and what I learned. Like, alcoholics ain't always wrong or bad. The same way with drug addicts, they're not always wrong or bad. You got a felony. It doesn't mean everything you do is bad. But I question it, and like my dad was older. I think he was in his 80s, 70s, 80s. And, hey, Dad, he says, what difference does it make? Yeah, but the guys I hang out with, if you don't have white socks on, it's like, what's up? Little stuff. But I look at them, I give them credit because, watching they're out there 10, 12 hours a day driving, that's not easy. I drive about 9 hours a day, but I also got a wrench on my truck or take it in the shop. I got a 99 Freightliner, and they don't want to do that. So at the end of the day, they don't want to listen. They say, oh, we make $1,000. Well, that's good money, or it was good money. Well, $1,000 a week. You got an automatic, power steering, all that, You got it easier than I do, but they don't want to work on anything on my boss pays that, or they're not allowed to work on it. Talking to one guy in Phoenix, I got a little inverter I put in my truck that I can plug in my laptop or whatever, converts DC electricity to AC electricity. So guy says, I worked with this company for 20, 25 years. He says, the boss bought me a new truck, $150,000 to $200,000. He's kind of an old timer, and we're talking about fixing the truck a little bit. And if you got any kind of power tool, you need an inverter. And just put it on your side box, hook it up to positive, negative to the battery. Pretty simple, really. The only thing is, he says, well, it's a new truck. He said, I asked the boss. The boss says, don't touch it. It's got a little piece of cloth on there or something. It looks, brand new. It's nice and shiny and all that. But what happens if you need to make a little repair on something or the other, whatever? I said, ain't you got an inverter? He says, yeah. Well, he says, yeah, then they don't cost me a couple $100. He says, the boss won't let him cut a hole in the bottom of the cab. Little friggin' hole. You're going to put two wires through it. Little friggin' hole. The floor is about an eighth of an inch, a quarter of an inch. Get a drill or whatever, cut it out, or what do you call it? A router, or whatever it is. That little, like a socket with a teeth on it. Drill a little hole, about 2.5 inches, 2 inches. Put your cables in there, hook it up. He put a couple of sheet metal screws to hold it down. That's it. Maybe some insulation around the wires. Simple job. You do that Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon or something. Take you about an hour. The boss won't let him. The boss probably got probably got 10, 20 trucks. There's a couple of $1 million. The boss ain't nowhere near there. He's not around nowhere. Basically, what do you care? Because it's brand new? Well, if you was in the factory, I guess they'd cut a hole. They should have put a hole in there for you. Put a rubber grommet, a little rubber gasket around the edges so it doesn't short out. Little stuff. That's what I don't like about with a company driver. This poor guy, I like to be able to do what I want to a degree. But if it's my own car, I've had a car since I'm 14. I was just looking at the count on YouTube. I haven't seen the counting cars. I haven't seen the count there. I think he's in Vegas. It takes a 57 Chevy. It was 7 years ago. Black Chevy. The guy's selling it. They completely tore it down, put a 700 horsepower motor in there with a blower. He got gold spray painted, gold base, and then candy. I guess it was kind of like candy red on top of that, and it's with a thin coat of paint. Came out, man. It was killing me, man. It was beautiful. And they sold it. He put 58 grand in it, and then he sold it. That guy paid 80 grand at an auction. That was 7 years ago. It's probably worth 100,000. But you get an idea of all the labor that was involved. This all performance part, top of the line. But that paint job, usually I don't pay no attention to paint. It's just paint. I want to see the motor. But these people had this guy. I seen him years ago with a '67 Cadillac, and he painted it, and it looked great. I never didn't show one picture of the motor, because I'm a mechanic. I'm more interested as the car running. The car, the motor, and the transmission. We'll get to the paint later. But first things first, you don't want to get stuck, whatnot. But this guy, I guess he's worked his way up, and they just went all out on the car. The interior, beautiful, air conditioning. A couple came up from Florida. The daughter had tumors all over her body and some kind of disease. A cute little girl, about 5. He almost automatically, just broke into tears, and everybody was crying. And they wanted him to build a custom car. I think he had a 38 Buick or something. Oh, my God, they fixed that thing. To help, they were going to sell it in Florida to try to raise money and awareness for the daughter. That's beautiful. My son was disabled. I had no money. And it's hard to, I get tired and frustrated and angry, and I'm not the nicest guy around to be talking to or whatever. My ex took off, and I basically hate the world. My mother and father, they're too old. My dad gave me quite a bit of money. He was a Shriner. Take care of my son, his grandson. But it's a drop in a bucket compared to what you really need. So that's that. But that's when I was starting to get a serious attitude. Never mind if you're black or white or Hispanic or whatever. When you got your kid or your son or your daughter, now everything gets really serious. And then the medical thing. Now you got Children's Protective Agency, and then people looking at you like, "What's a man taking care of a kid?" Like, I ain't. They got a backup: the police and the church people and the do-gooders, and the women, mostly woman-dominated scenario. And I just told them the truth, and I said, "This is my first and only son," and I said, "I'm going to take care of him. No reason why I can't. I'm physically able, mentally able." And my dad was helping me a little bit to get Medicaid. So I did that for 17 years until he died, Kid needs a mother. His mother was a drug addict. She took a wrong choice in women. We got along like this. It was only I'm selling used cars. I met her. Got along great for, I think I was with her for 1 month out of 6 months, got her pregnant. And she was always going to jail. Drugs and stuff. It's sad. I messed up, That's my own fault. Now, I still try to figure out, what did you see in her other than sex? We had a lot of sex because of the crack. And sex is addicting. I think after after you have sex 3 or 4 days, I think you're hooked on it. But it's good exercise. So I'm just trying to figure out what. It's how you can't blame people. I just started at, I think, my 3rd or 4th year of selling used cars. It's a business. And I started little by little, just oversleeping and staying in bed with her too long. Well, it was very pleasurable, but there was no regimentation. And I was trying to, she was younger, but I was trying to get her involved in cars and business. And it just, I realize now that I'm trying to get somebody to help me with my business. It'll benefit both of us. Not a lot, but it's kind of a fine line. If I could go to the AA club and I get somebody that's got a year or two sober and off drugs, and they want to set, they need money, they want to set the world on fire, and they're bullshitting. I know how to drive a truck. Now, you don't know how to. You barely scratch the surface. I was looking at police services. I think they're up in Rhode Island. The federal government says you have to use them as process your legal paperwork, something like that. I usually end up doing my own or just cutting them, debit card. If you need a permit, that's mostly for heavy loads or oversized loads. It's good money, but you got to be on the phone, and I'm doing it different. I just pull a dry box, go JB Hunt. I get on the load board. I go pick up. Drive to the destination, unload. Next day, I get my money, take care of the truck. Well, the old truck and the repairs consume my time. I'm just now getting some breathing room where I could sit at the house and play with the computer. I haven't done that for a while. And says, "Oh, let me try this." And I'm trying to. After 15 years, I'm settling down a little bit. I was looking at a new office chair. I got a new headset, $50, and an office chair. And need to paint this room, and on and on. It's just, my life is just like that. But I'm trying to find somebody, I guess, like myself, or I have to, Eddie, on that Foley, they have a service now where they will basically screen the driver. I was looking at something else last night too, where you gotta pay attention to every little thing. You gotta provide dental health care, health care for your employee and all that. And I went to a counselor when I was 12. He's saying, well, your dad is like a self-made man. Oh, okay. Yeah, and he says there ain't no such thing anymore. This is back in the 60s. We all need help, and it's kind of more of a bureaucratic type system. He was like an independent. He went to work and did other things, but he went to work, and then my mother was a school teacher and whatnot. She was selling cigarettes back in the 50s out of the garage. I was trying to make a buck, selling Girl Scout troops or selling cookies, and money's part of life. The idea was to take care of yourself, and if you can become financially independent, that's the goal. Pay off your house, and then by the time you're 40, 50, you can start to kind of slow down or go to college or do other things or take care of your grandkids or, go on vacations, stuff like that. Go on a cruise, some 2 or 3 weeks or a month, go. My aunt and uncle went around the world. They were probably about 60 to 70, hard working. They had Mexican restaurants. And they went around the world. I was impressed. I said, you think back, like right now, I was thinking, I haven't been on vacation for about 50 years when I took an actual vacation. So I try to just sit around the house and I should be looking to get another job for tomorrow or see what's, I've been doing that for 50 years straight. It gets old. And, I'm trying to make myself, my foot's killing me. It's starting to give a little time. Came in, I had athlete's foot. It was so friggin' hot out there. I made money. I still got a little money, got my Social Security. And just, take it easy a little bit. I said, I'm going to take a nap. I'm tired. Go to sleep. So I was looking for somebody that's kind of what they used to call a self-starter, or independent type, somebody that wants to help themselves. That's why I was looking at Sammy the Bull and Michael Francis. I looked at the Bible in jail. I was in Rikers Island. It says, I just pick out a point to start at in the Bible. I open up the Bible and I'm reading a little bit. It says, God helps those who help themselves. And just little stuff. Like I said, I smoke, and there's another where I get my attitude from. I smoke. I'm locked up, and I think I took about 8 or 10 cigarettes in there with me. I had a half a pack left or something like that. They take all your shit. And I think you don't want to be bumming in jail, man. Excuse me, man, can you spare a cigarette? You're not on the street no more. And then after a while, I asked the guy, you don't see too many cigarettes in there. If there are, a guy only got a couple for himself. He got them at commissary. The family gives you a couple of bucks where you can get candy bars and cigarettes. But he says, ask the tier captain to give you a package of Bugler. Well, that's fine by me, So I go over there, this Puerto Rican guy. He got a whole 2 cartons of Bugler. And I says, yeah, you got any tobacco? Oh, yeah, he grabs me 2. Here. I mean, I want to smoke bad. And, I look for I said, ain't got no papers in there? Again, you're not on the street. This is not a delicatessen or smoke shop. Oh no, the guys take them all out of there. Yeah, they smoke, weed. They want to put this sneak weed in it. Man, I almost blew up. What the fuck? You know, little things like that. I'm looking back, like, how do you even deal with that shit? God got me through it. I can't remember. I remember this one guy, Slim or whatever, tall black guy. He's in a phone line or something. He turned around and he got his hand in the back. He got 3 Pall Malls, and he sticks it right in front of me, around waist level. I said, "Go ahead, man." So I grabbed them cigarettes, man. You get desperate. That's why I see some of it. But you got to watch too. I heard a lot of stuff that, what these guys trying to punk you out or something. I just got there. I don't know what's going on. You don't want to. You don't want to take something, then you owe the guy. Friggin' mosquitoes are killing me. I put a little bit of alcohol on there. So anyhow, that's the deal. I've seen now where Diane Sawyer went over there. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. See, right now I want to smoke, so I'm going to just reach over here and light up another one. And I remind myself, remember when, like in AA, they say you never had it so good. Yeah, remember where you come from. Not to dwell on it, but don't close the door on it so you don't forget and get cocky, arrogant. Thank the Lord. He has provided for me. Even though I don't see a lot wrong with cigarettes. And I got this Truck Stop Ministries, the local Bill or Jim, I forget his name. He said, God's not going to throw you out of heaven, not let you into heaven because you smoke coffee, because you drink coffee, maybe you smoke it, because you drink coffee and you smoke cigarettes. I guess it's not a sin. Anyhow, it's not good. I know, but it's like these Facebook here they had the dopamine up there excites my brain up here or something, gives me dope, gives you that sort of feeling. And it says that Facebook was concentrating. That's how they tried to, not by cigarettes, but the way people are dressed, the interaction on Facebook. It releases dopamine, so making a comment or scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or connecting with your friends is kind of a high up here. It makes you feel good. So you get addicted to this shit. So they're trying to make a platform for the kids under 12. And the parents are starting, the Congress is starting to, well, the senator, I forget where he's from, but he did the thing in 1990 on the cigarettes where the nicotine, and these wealthy companies get you hooked or sell you a product that you become addicted to. And he says that's the equivalent to the cigarettes when they were being promoted, advertising as glamorous and sexy to the younger people. Back then, it was like under 21. So they enforced that law a little bit. Now I think this is another thing that teased me off. Go to buy some cigarettes. I'm 72. You see the white hair? That's white. I got a hint of little dark. I used to have dark brown hair back here, whatever. The girl selling the cashier is 21, 22, 23, 24, something like that. I have to see your ID, sir. I said, I'm 72. Do I even have to say that? Can't you see I'm old? Oh, you don't look it. Well, how old do I look? 50. Okay. The law is 18 and above or 21 and above. I don't even pay attention to it no more. But this is the kind of thing, can't you see? A couple of girls told me, a couple of cashier ladies told me, sir, it's the policy, state law. And they got a video camera right there. That's another thing nobody likes. Well, okay, I'm not going to argue with it. I need to light one up, and I got other things to do, so I'm not going to argue with you about it. And it's not her fault. She's making a living. She's working. So that's that. I started getting up in. It's like my dad. He went to the bank. I needed some money for something. My son fixing a house. I think I did some work for him on his old rental house. And I told him I'd charge him $10 an hour. He says, hey, you're not charging enough. The guys around here charge $30. He said, just write me a receipt for $30 an hour. And he said, I'll pay it. It's a tax write-off. Oh, fuck, I didn't know that. Yeah, my dad only went to the 8th grade. But he knew, he learned business. That's another thing they're saying, that school don't teach you how to become successful. Basically, to make them well off or rich. This is part of that communistic type, elite type theory. We want people to work for us, so virtually we become slaves. See, I think the Black Lives Matter and the black people in general need to, if they're talking about slavery, yes, there was that kind. We all know that. And then, like I said, I was looking at YouTube. They had white slaves in Oregon that the ship masters would kidnap white people and turn them into slaves on the ships. They would take everything from them, and they lock them up in a room. They're in a room locked up, and they don't give them nothing. And see, we'll let you out if you come to work on a ship for us. They got, kidnapping, like, well, that's white slavery. I heard that term in Europe. That's what they told me. I used to hitchhike. And I said, I was going to hitchhike. I went to Europe. I wanted to go to maybe Israel or India. And they says, man, you got to watch out, because these people will roll up in a van, open the doors, 4 or 5 guys that got knives or guns, and throw you in the van, sell you as a slave. 1970, 71. I'm from El Paso, Texas. Like, what? And they ain't playing. They tell you, you understand that shit. I hitchhiked a couple of times. I didn't get kidnapped. The shit exists. And these girls, these American girls that go to Europe, I run across a couple of them there. They get kidnapped, raped, tortured, whatever. Or they call your parents and hold you for ransom. There's an underworld. You gotta, I'm in Europe. Yeah, I know, I did the same thing, but I'm a guy, number one, and I was in good fucking shape. I used to watch the guys in Amsterdam at night. There's nobody around, I'm sleeping in the train station. I don't give a shit. I don't know no better. These guys are all skinny, mostly kind of queers and shit. And I'm glancing over there. I see a couple of guys standing over there, and throw a kick up over the head. I'm like, what? I used to box. I'm walking, I think in France or something, down an old neighborhood outside the train station and going for a walk. Beautiful, man. It's unbelievable. And they got, back in 70, 71, they got the window, is a jewelry store with diamonds. Window with the lights on there at night. It's peaceful, quiet. There's nobody around. And I'm looking at all these diamond rings and shit. Man, look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. I look up, here's two guys coming my way. I got nervous as fuck, you know. So you just try to tell people, warn people. In LA back in the 80s, they were advertising, you know, strippers made, I think Vegas, they were paying $1,500 a night. And go to Japan. Oh boy, Japan, yeah. Yeah, you get over there and it's a come on, you know, it's a scam. You get over there with your passport and the girl says, oh, I'm going to go to Japan for 6 months or a year, come back with, you know, 20, 30 grand, 50 grand. I understand that. They had a thing on TV about it. But you get over there, the girl gets over there, gets off the plane, the guys pick her up, they tell her where to going to pick you up at the airport, gets in a nice van. That's maybe, you know, tie her up, put her in handcuffs or something, take her passport. You're fucked. You don't have a passport. They ain't going to let you out of the country, even if you escape. Oh, shit. And that's easy to do. See, the lure of easy money. So the thing is with the people that they're starting to talk about it, emphasize it. You're not only hurting her, but you know, all these women and guys too get killed or seriously hurt or whatever, or held for ransom. They're doing that in Mexico now, the cartel. And you're not only hurting the person, but the loved ones, the family. Even like my family, they don't. To me, in my opinion, not loving at all. But you still, when something bad happens, it affects everyone around you. You know, your family and your friends or whatever. Say the same thing with drug addicts and drunks. That you hurt your circle there. It's not just you, or you get locked up. They don't want to hear that, you know, because you got to. That's why I try to understand all what's going on with alcoholism, drug addiction, you know, and addiction in general, and things that make you go against society where it's only counterproductive. Why can't I, you know, like I keep trying, like right now I'm a little tired. I've been cutting all the weeds in the yard, the front yard and all that, fixing my old Cadillac and trying to fix the house a little bit. But I did a couple of things I've been needing to do. And it's a good feeling. I finally got around to do it. In fact, I was going to try to start my car today or tomorrow, maybe this evening. Took off the cylinder head, the intake manifold, put new gaskets, and I want to see if I got compression. The thing don't want to start, so I got to hook up the distributor, the ignition wire to the distributor, and see if the starter's turning over. So I want to see if I can get it going, just little by little. And if not, I got to look where is that? I got a short or a loose wire in the ignition or something. It's an old car. But I did that. I cleaned up, cut the yard in the front. Walk out this morning, I picked up the garbage this morning. I come out in the morning. Oh, yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's good. Feel good. You know, I took a shower. Says, hey, thank you, Lord. Just it was a good feeling, you know. And I did the raking and sweeping, or I clean my car, and I put some cleaner on there and some whack. This type of exercise is good for you. When I drive a truck, it's mostly just holding on to the wheel for 9 hours, and your back muscles, your lower back muscles get weak, and your legs get weak because you don't walk. I walk to get cigarettes just for I get some exercise. That's my excuse to get me going. I got to go 4 blocks to the Ace Hardware and O'Reilly's and stuff. So I'm just sharing this kind of thing as to how I think to keep myself going a little bit. And I played the stock market. I'm learning that. I got on Thinkorswim today because I screwed up last year. I lost $3,000. I made $800 on Salesforce, and I ended up losing $3,000. I says, hey, stupid! I got addicted to that. I put another $1,000 and try it again. Tomorrow's got to, went down the last 2 or 3 days. It's got to go up. Don't have to, and just right at the wrong minute. So I keep playing it a little bit, but I stay down. I put down $40, $50. And I says, man, I get bored. You never, I could have made $14 yesterday on American Airlines, and then started to go down. I said, well, let it go down. It's like 10 o'clock. It should bounce back up. It should go up to $22. And the motherfucker kept going down, and then it went down 40, 50 cents. And then I said, well, it's going to bottom out. And then it didn't. It kept going. So I lost $40. So I says to myself, get on Thinkorswim, because they want you to, these tutorials, 5 minutes, 45 minutes. I like a computer with my hotspot, my smartphone. I sat here and talked for an hour, 2 hours. I said, instead of talking or looking at the news for 2 or 3 hours, I said, why don't you get on Thinkorswim, take the next step, because I put it off about 6 months ago. I didn't want to listen. I know it all, and just go over it. It's not going to hurt you. I looked at one video for how to do options for 45 minutes, and you get on there and a covered call. I don't do that. But I says, well, why don't you learn? Look at it. I get so stubborn. Look at it and learn and see. And if you don't learn how it works, and if it's not your thing, then, you lost this 45 minutes. I think you're supposed to get a couple of points. I don't know. I says, a stock market thing. They're trying to educate you. It's a whole world. I'm using it like the lottery. Try to make a couple of bucks in the morning, 10 minutes or something, $20, $80, $40 for the week. Yahoo, But you learn the timing and every little thing. And I says, I think if you continue to follow this path, like I'm looking at things, I says, hey, I want to. My truck, it was killing me the last 5 years, but I finally got it straightened out. So now what I want to do is just, I get a couple of dress shirts just to make yourself feel better. And maybe a pair of slacks. You're getting slacks. There's a thing on TikTok about I laugh. And I says, I'm old. I'm trying to buy a pair of slacks. And, maybe go to hear some music at some point. My hair, I'm going to spike my hair. I could spike your hair, green and blue and all this shit, purple, whatever. But just to get outside the box, outside your shell, challenge yourself, and have some kind of, I'm a little bit creative, a little bit artistic. So sometimes I gravitate more to this type of person. I'm looking at this guy from YouTube. He's like 22. To me, that's what we used to do in the 60s. He's a square. But I'm thinking, what is it that you're looking at this guy, you already made a judgment on him. I don't like the guy. He's telling me what I got to do to community standards. And I caught myself. It's kind of like a negative thought, and it pops out. And I'm looking at it like, why are you getting negative right away? Why can't you do that? Learn how to do that. He must have learned at some point. Maybe he had nice parents. Or I went to the library, and I was with about my son, my dad's inheritance. I was down at the county law library. My nephew's a top lawyer down there. But I went down there because I'm at the same point. I need to learn. What I'm doing is not, it might benefit me a little more if I learn how to do it correctly instead of doing it my way, like I know what I'm doing, because I don't. I'm learning. I know a little bit, but there's more to it, and I'm finding out. So I'm in there. I open a law. I get a law book. I find that you must teach your kids, your children, morals. I almost fell over, man. I'm up on the 7th floor or something. I'm by myself. That's a friggin' law. You got to teach them, which means, number one, I'm trying to get to the roots of my alcoholism. My parents used to drop me at church, and some of the church people are worse than they get you in trouble, but sometimes, but there's that. I do have from the teachers where you read the Bible. We used to sing at church. I have a spaghetti dinner, and they're preaching at you a little bit. We went to L.A. when I'm 13, I think, 1963. Took a bus to L.A. Church group, and we stayed at a couple of churches, I think in Phoenix and L.A. And then went to the pier in Santa Monica. Went fishing at night. I'm sorry, that was really cool. You had to buy a fishing rod. I think it was like $2 or $3 back then. I did that. We got on the bus. We get over there, and looking back, you know what? I had fun. And then we went to Cloudcroft in the wintertime, went sledding. Went down this. I'm scared to death driving a truck in snow and ice. Hey, pal, you'd have to do it. You're a kid. I think I was 8 or 9, 10. One of them people had a sled. They lent it to me, whatever. Walk up this hill, man. It was steep. And I got down and I kind of looked around. There was a couple of other church people there. And I looked around and I said, go for it or something. And I got down on the sled and I'm looking down. I says, man, because Sonny Bono got killed. He was skiing and he ran into a tree and got killed. It can get down. It was just like a 2-car. It was kind of a small street, but it was ice. But it was steep. So I got to going really fast. I can't remember how I ended up. I guess I went all the way down. It's about a block or so. And then it smooths out. What are you afraid of? You're already trying to overcome your fears. You got to remember, I hadn't thought about that for years and years. So we did that. I ended up stealing something from the store with my buddies. We went to some store. I stole something. I'm 13. They found out at night. I guess I told somebody or something. And it says, you need to go back to that store and give them that merchandise back and say you're sorry. I felt like a piece of shit, but I did that. And I'm looking at the sales lady, or the sales guy, or whatever, and I felt like a piece of crap, But I did it, and I'm looking at them. They're serious about it. They didn't do nothing, thank God. But now they lock you up for anything. But they're serious about. I see this thing with a stealing in San Francisco. Anything under $950, it's a misdemeanor. No longer a felony, but up to $950. A couple of black guys, they go in there with a couple of bags to Walgreens or something, and they're clearing out the shelves. And walk into the car, but got a car. The arrogance, that entitlement. What? Somebody, there again, how are you going to tell this guy you shouldn't do that? You need to take that stuff back and say you're sorry. But this is basic, simple, church type environment, right from wrong, common sense, so that you learn a lesson. And here it is, 60 years later, 59 years later, I'm remembering about that. That lasts all your life. You learned a lesson. Like now, I go to an extreme. I borrowed some coffee when I'm at the truck stop. I was dead broke, and I got to have some coffee, and I just walk out with it. It's easy to do. And I got in the habit of that, and I caught myself, and I says, hey, there you go again. I've done that a few times in my life. There ain't nothing for nothing out here. If they tell you, I had so many women that you go to get a coffee, they can see you're tired, these old timers. Go ahead. There's $1 billion a year companies, Petro, TA, whatnot. Or you go to a little mom and pop, and coffee don't cost nothing. Go ahead. Hey, you're supposed to give truckers coffee. They spend money fueling up and all that. Anyhow, but I don't try to sneak out with it anymore. You don't feel right. It's just for a second or two. But you know better. You get your coffee, make it exactly how you like, and then walk up to the cash register and pay for it. I don't like it. Like I say, sometimes go ahead. Or I spend $8 for some food and a coffee, and they just charge you for the food. Okay, well, you spend some money. These are life lessons in life. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I can clean up my language a little bit. Maybe I'll even entertain the kids, because I don't just have my one son, and it kills me that I don't have grandkids or nothing. Because now I see your role is an older guy, like a coach or grandfather, to help guide them and explain, what the deal is, give them guidance. And I'm old, and I'm not useless. I can still be of some good. But, in God's eyes, what does God want me to do? I just get nervous with the kids were about 10 years. They go to the truck stop. They love the truck stops. I go in, I'm all grubby as shit and all that. But, and the kids come in. I love the kids, the young kids. They look at you, they high five you or something. They're looking at you. Like I have one or two, like down south, to get a little beautiful little young 3 or 4 year old black girl. Turn around and look. I was listening to this comedian. They said, turn around and look at you. Usually it was like a black guy in a white neighborhood. The kids, she said, you get to stare from the kids. They're looking at you like, this girl looked like she could end up growing up being very mean. I'm thinking it's like a Saturday, and I think I was going to get a piece of pound cake or something, or coffee or something. I smile. I look at. I got no teeth. How you doing, kid? How you doing? Yeah. That's it. The parents are tired. They don't give a shit. But the kid looks at you like, most of them are cool. But this little girl looking at me like, "Mommy, shoot him." They kind of just. I started walking away. I don't want no shit. Like you're down south. Like whatever. I ain't worried about it because I know that 99 out of 100, like the black people down south, man, they're beautiful. I never have no problem. Good people. It's good people, just period. Don't matter what your skin color is, but you never know. You never know. I'm overly cautious because with what's presented on the television and the internet, number one, everybody's scared because they don't know what to do. I don't know how to be a mentor or a coach or an in-between guy. I'm just trying to put my 2 cents out there to, tell people everything's going to be all right. But now, number one, you got to have some kind of love or fear of God, recognize that God makes things happen, good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, he's give somebody the benefit of the doubt. They're innocent until proven guilty or whatever. Hey, I didn't do nothing. I didn't mean nothing. But you got, for a while, people looking to sue you, make a scene, create a scandal, and then try to sue you. They're so desperate to get money without working for it. If you're working for your money, you got to get thick skin. Just don't let shit bother you because there's a lot of dumb shit all over the place. But you can't let it keep you from, I got to use the restroom. I got to get a coffee, get something to eat. I got to buy some aspirins in there, whatever it is, get a hot dog, whatever. And walk back out to the truck, fuel up my truck, check the oil, wash the windows, go on about my way. I get my little half-hour break or an hour or whatever, and then get back, smoke a cigarette, get on the internet a little bit, and go on, finish your job, drive another 2, 3, 4 hours. Go to sleep and get to your destination. That's your job. But in the meantime, when you go into the truck stops, it gets stupid in there sometimes. They're overcrowded. Everybody's in a super rush. That's a curse with these newer trucks. They look great. They look nice. At corporate, what these guys don't seem to see is that, you're making $1,000. You got an automatic, nice paint job, power steering. You can turn the steering wheel with one finger. You don't know how to back up, so what? You look like a hypocrite. But okay, that's the way it is. Okay. Now, what they also did is a basic issue of trust. I know that there's a lot of assholes that drive a truck. And you really can't trust them. They try to weed out these type of people, but they're in there. They get in there. They're in there. It's like these immigrants. Most of them, probably 70, 80%, 90% are good people. But it's the ones that are going to kill, rape, hurt somebody, or bring drugs in, or bring disease in. You got to weed those out, kind of set up a system where that's why you got drug testing, alcohol testing, and driving a truck nowadays. They used to have all that. So that's the reason for it. Forgot what I was going to say. So you just try to, I was looking for a driver. That's part of the problem, that I don't trust half these guys. If these Foley and JB Hunt, if they screen, do a sufficient screening on the drugs, no felonies for 10 years. Now it's down to like 5 years or something. They need drivers. So the desperation, that's what I was talking. The desperation is sad. I've been a desperado. I've been desperate. When you're hungry, you got no money. I mean, absolutely none. You're not just saying, there again, there's my dad again. Always try to have some money on you so you don't have to do anything out of desperation, because you're not thinking in your right mind or your calm mind. Hey, man, you want to buy some? Yeah, okay. Why did you make that decision? Because you're hungry and you think if you take this stolen merchandise, or the guy gives you a $10 thing for $1, you could make 10 or 20 bucks off it and go eat or get your drugs or whatever you're going to do with it. But he knew, and I'm learning now. Yeah, I could say this now because I got a couple of bucks. I got $400 or $500, whatever. I just called Walmart to bring me some groceries, so that if I leave today or tomorrow, if I have to throw half of them out, it's okay. But I got food right now. That's trying to calm myself down. Took a shower, got all my little errands done. I did cut the grass and all that, clean up, just load of laundry, all this shit. And I got enough. I got more than enough, really. I was looking at the refrigerator. It was fucking full. Because usually when you don't have no money, you don't eat that much. And because you're busy trying to. So that's, I see so many people that are, it seems like I'm either getting calmer or they're getting more desperate. So the message is try to seek a middle ground. I think it tells you that in the Bible. And I'm not saying to become, maybe that's what middle class is. I don't really know. I always wanted to be rich, but I always ended up poor. So for me in life, as an older guy, I've been, Frank Sinatra, man, I've been up and down and over and out. I did it my way. Well, you pay your dues to do it your way. If you're willing to do that. Now, I never seen where Frank Sinatra went to prison for 10 years or 20 years. So, that's the national anthem. I did it my way. Trump had that on his inauguration. Man, it was bring a tear to your eye for me. That with the alcoholism and the program, and that's a good thing about AA. You're with other alcoholics or drug addicts the same as you. So there's a trust there. We're coming from the same place. When the bureaucrats, the psychiatrists, the clinicians, the doctors, the bureaucracy, the authorities, the police, they tell you something. You need to, when somebody tells me something up here, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to run away. I don't like people telling me what to do. Even if, you have to come to the maturity level in your own mind to understand, it's for your own good. Like my lady friend, I swear to God, it's not what you say. I honestly don't think you have my interest or my best interest at heart. You're saying something because you're that California type where everything's a fucking joke. And you're trying to get a laugh, and your ex-husband there standing 2 feet over, and because I noticed that was a pattern since 40 years ago. I noticed it 40 years ago. You want to make me the butt of your joke at any expense. You don't give anything for a laugh. And I'm not trying to joke around. I'm saying I'm serious. So also that makes me leery of people that trying to. The guy at the truck stop. It's an old, real stocky, sitting in the recliner chairs at the truck stop, and I come home. I'm out 2 or 3 months. I'm tired, man. You're not even a truck driver. Get the fuck out of the chair. I see the guy. He's got a little, what do you call it? A camper on the back of a nice pickup truck. He got a nice setup there. He's got his propane, but he's homeless. The guy's about 60. He got his Trump hat on. He's looking at the news when Trump lost the election. After that, well, we lost. Let's see what happens. You can't make it happen. You can't throw Biden out of there with the military, throw him out, and put Trump back. That's not going to happen. You're old enough to understand it. You're old enough to know that. So anyhow, the guy, I come in the next day. I go to sleep. In fact, I come in the next morning, get a coffee, a piece of pound cake, and I go sit on the recliner chair for a minute. This fucking guy, don't talk to me before I have my coffee. It's hot, so I'm letting it sit for a minute to cool down a little bit. So I go to take a sip. I'm desperate for that first sip of coffee in the morning. Wow, if you believe in Jesus Christ, don't hit me over the head with that shit. And don't shove it down my throat. I see this guy all year. I come in and I see him another 2, 3, 4 times. So I'm going out to Dallas 2 months ago. I'm going up to 20. I'm almost to Fort Worth, Weatherford. Saturday afternoon. I stopped in Abilene or something. I was going up in the morning, about 11 or 12 at night. I see this guy sitting at the side of the highway with an American flag. Trump. Trump's going to run in 2024. That fucking guy. I looked over there. I'm driving kind of slow. I'm in the right lane. I look at him. I says, don't you remember my face? I guess not. But he's doing all he can. That's all he knows how to do. That's the best he knows how to do. I almost wish I could be out there too and put the flag up. I'll be honest with you. I'm scared for years. If I put the American flag up or Dallas, I'm a Cowboys fan. Put the Dallas star on the side of my paint the star on the side of my. Put a decal on the Dallas Cowboys. I swear to God, people are fucked out there. Somebody going to throw some paint on there or whatever, shoot at me or whatever. People are fucked up sometimes, so I don't want to do that. I wish I could, but, Biden, he said something that the message, of course, I don't trust the guy a whole bunch, but to solve our problems in a civilized manner, as my dad, let's talk about it. Let's not. I know that yelling and screaming at somebody, that's not the way to get somebody to do what you want to. That's not having a conversation. We can agree to disagree. You think your way for whatever reason, your life experiences, and the same for each and every one of us. I was on the streets and, like acting stupid, drunk, and screaming at somebody. Well, sometimes when you, like with your kids, I tell my son, uh, don't do that, or but he didn't understand, so I had to understand that. I screamed and yelled at him a couple of times, smacked him a couple of times. You're supposed to only hit him on the rear end and all that. You have to come to this place in your mind, however you do it, that I'm not drunk no more. So that if I'm drunk and you don't agree with me, I'm likely to, in a split second, just knock you on the ass. That solved the problem. I mean, good Lord, if you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, you're a young kid. Yeah. You have to get out of it. My buddy Rocky was on probation, Rocky McCarthy in Cape Cod. That was my buddy. He was like 5 years younger, but went back to New York to work, and I think he was working. So he gets into an argument with somebody. He had to go to court, and he's 15 or 16, And he had a sister, I think he's looking out for, but they put him on probation. They put him in a place up in Boston. I went to see him one time. And, after a while, you gotta make a decision, am I going to keep doing this? You have to learn the errors of your way. And the guy could drink, man, but anyhow, he's back down at the Cape for the weekend or something. They let him off on the weekends. They let you off to see what you're going to do. Did you learn anything? You've been locked up 2, 3, 4 months, 5 months probation. We're going to let you out. Right away, we're fucking up. And, hey, Rocky, what are you doing, man? I'm getting drunk. And he gave the guy wanted to borrow his knife. He had a $5 knife. He says, the motherfucker, you're supposed to bring my knife back at 5 p.m. It's 7:30 at night. I'm going to go find the guy. Oh, that's fucked up, man. Fuck it. Come on, let's go. Yeah, I'm really helping him. We go over there and find us 2 or 3 guys. Oh, there he is. Hey, man, where's my fucking knife? Mistreat him. So I'm right there with him. I say, hey, I'm with the, I'm backing him up, They're looking like, guy gives him the knife back. He took it apart. He hands it back to him. He couldn't put it back together again. So he hands it back. What the fuck? You fucked up my knife, man. It's a $5. Principle of the thing. But turns around, smacks the guy. I look at these 2 other guys. I give them the don't butt in, motherfuckers. Give him that look. And the guy's down. I think he got on top of my buddy there. And I kicked him in the head, The fuck off, mother, Stupid shit. Lucky we didn't get locked up. Then you're hoping, and I know that we all separated, went our own way. And he's talking, that motherfucker, he tore apart my knife. And he's, what the fuck? And I said, well, you shouldn't lend nobody nothing, But you want to be cool. You want to be accepted. Yeah, go ahead. You can borrow it. Yeah, you want to be cool. You want to trust the guy. The guy lets you down, So now what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to hit him in a... No, man. So first thing I thought, and I know being on the street that we're both looking over our shoulder. Because there's two of us. I'm from New York. I got that New York accent. I had some other guy with him, like a Mexican or something. You know, he's from New York. Oh, shit. And I had this 10 Irish guys from Boston coming down. Well, we'll show him, you know, this kind of retaliation shit. And then I was also thinking, what if the guy calls the cops? Hey, the guy beat me up or something. They got witnesses. You're walking down the street, you're walking to get another beer. Here comes a squad car. Now, when I went to the hospital with my son so many times for 17 years, people get hurt, you know, seriously hurt. Or if you hit a guy, I was looking back when I first sobered up that God was looking out for me. If you hit a guy, sometimes if you hit him just right, you're gonna fuck him up, or they're gonna go straight down like backwards or something and hit the head. You could kill the guy, you could paralyze the guy. Now, somebody got to call the ambulance. You go to the hospital. The hospital, if it's serious, the hospital has to call the police department. Now you're looking, you know, so, and then too, you don't know, there's this retaliation shit. I've sort of stayed by myself anymore, but I'm not exposed to that environment. But I know in LA, I was just looking at the Samoans there in LA that they're all packing. Got the lowrider cars and the San Pedro. I don't fuck with them. We had one guy at was hauling chemicals with a truck. Beautiful guy. If you know him, you know, it's no problem. But it's an element that, you know, that retaliation shit. And here comes 10 of them, you know, they catch you by yourself. You get, you know, New York, the same thing. You're getting a beating, you know, if not stabbed or shot or killed. Not like about Snoop Dogg. You know, he supposedly killed a guy in a park over there in Compton or something. He did 2 years in LA County. That's punishment enough. I've been over there once. But what I don't like about Snoop Dogg is that he lived there in Long Beach. And to me, being Hispanic and working in the harbor in Long Beach, doesn't matter what color. He was coming out with black. Well, we could all see you're black. We could see that. Well, I'm brown or light brown or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Well, this guy's white. We're truck drivers. We work in the harbor, man. That ain't no bullshit. So now he gets in a lowrider. Never did. I only seen one or two. I think Will Smith or something. One of them guys give acknowledgement. But these are celebrities. You know, it's a black-white thing. I can't stand that shit. It's like, what about the Asians? What about the Mexicans? You're in a fucking lowrider car. That's culturally Mexicano. You can't say shout out to somebody made that car. Somebody painted it. Somebody put the rim on it. But you're so caught up in this black mentality. I've been down south. I hung out with nothing but blacks in New York. Yeah, you ain't telling me nothing. I see his son's going to UCLA, and you know, I was looking at him the other day. Shaq was rapping with him or something. Now, Shaq come out this week with "Just Be Yourself." There it is. That's a New York thing. I know that if you got money and then you lose money, what happens when you run out of money? Do you run out of class? Life is up and down. And if you get shot, there goes your money. So, don't we all know this already? So I was glad to hear him say that. The guy made it. But you can say, how do you do? How you doing? You want to get something to eat? It tells you in the Bible, break bread with your brother. Go have something to eat. My nephews, I say, sit down for a minute. We're both from El Paso. We're both old. Let's get some. I'm starving. I said, let me get some tacos or rice and beans. We grew up like, he's in a suit. In fact, he goes into his lawyer mode, like, I don't know you. I gotta go to the bank, cash this check, and here's what you get. We sold a couple of houses. You can't. What's up here? You're so busy, or whatever. You can't sit down for real quick, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I said, now I'm sitting down because I was hungry, man. I hadn't eaten no breakfast or nothing. I got $5, get 2 or 3 tacos with some rice and beans and soda. Give me 10 minutes. What I got to ask you, we're full-grown men. We're over 60. He won't talk. He won't pick the phone or nothing. Okay, you're a big-time lawyer. That's nice. So that kind of hit home for me. You can see it like Shaq. You can see it in his face, man. The guy's a beautiful guy. Made money. We went to Jesse James. He made him a custom chopper because he's extra big. I thought that was cool. Stuff like that. But he paid his dues, God bless him, Well, why you got to get into all this goes down in Florida or something? Guy's good, man. Guy's fucking good, but and then he went to LA to try to build a school or something, or help the disadvantaged. I'm all for that. But there again, like, I don't have $1 million to donate. And these guys can't hide, or they think you're stupid that you don't know how much they're making. I'll Google it right now. LeBron's salary per year, his net worth. These are multi-millionaires. I don't care if you're black, white, polka dotted, Mexican. He got on Oscar De La Hoya because he left East LA. I would too. I don't know. I've been through East LA. I haven't seen no, don't look like no millionaire neighborhood. So in a way, I kind of don't blame. My dad was telling me, and Bishop, that TD Jakes, he said, if I see one more brand new car, Cadillac in front of a shack, you're in debt to pay for the car. You want to look like. I totally agree with that. And my dad said, it's got to go together. You can't live in a shack and have a brand new Cadillac. It don't make sense in case you can't see it. You get whatever you can afford, something affordable. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I go to Walmart. I was stripping last night and before. I need something cool, something for the house. So you get a cheap one or you get the better one. Now looking at the price. Do I got enough for that? Do I really need that? Am I just going to use it one time? What am I going to use it for? Like a chisel or something. I needed something on the truck, a chisel and a punch. So I ordered those. It's going to be a 5 or 10 minute, but you need that particular tool. just to help you a little bit, like $2 or $3, $4 or $5. Okay, it don't really matter, and because like you go on Amazon or the internet and you see whatever you need, like a tool or something is like for the car gets specialized. So I got to do some research into what are the characteristics exactly? What am I looking for? Where it's got to have this, got to be extra strong or extra small, or it's got to be precise. And like with wires, they had 12 gauge. That's all they had at Walmart, 12 gauge wire. My lights on the back of the Cadillac. I got pieces of wire all over, but like $5, get 25 feet or something. I says, it's not going to hurt. I can put 10 feet here at the house, 12 feet. Take the other one with me to the truck in case I need it or whatever. But sometimes I got something for $5, sometimes it's $10 or $40. And I look at Walmart. See, now Walmart, the buyers, my dad was a sales guy and the buyer, he told me. He only told me about once, but a couple of times. So, they're, how do you say it? They're in the mode. They're in that lane, what they call it, truckers. Which lane do you run? Well, I go all over. So well, what do you like? Well, I used to want to go from L.A. to San Francisco, maybe San Diego or Phoenix. My brother was in Phoenix, or Yuma. My aunts and uncles were over there. Or Vegas, El Paso, the house. I go over there, but I can't go into California with my old truck. And if it's 115 in Phoenix, I ain't going over there. Up to North Carolina a couple of years ago, first time. Man, it is beautiful over there. Having Sturgis Rally. Beautiful, man. 55, 65 degrees, nice. Went up to Michigan, went up to Minnesota. Shit in the winter. Went up to New Hampshire. God, it's beautiful over there, man. The roads are fucked up. Go up to Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, Montana. I go to the East Coast because that's what they pay a little extra, but I like the East Coast or the South, but it's so friggin' hot. It's so humid in the South. Miserable. So now I go there in the wintertime. Now they start paying less. See, they got it all calculated. But this is along the lines of what I'm saying. The buyers, they're in tune with, they got different manufacturers that they deal with, and they say, well, okay, we want how much you charge for 12 gauge wire. Well, 25 feet, it's $4 wholesale. Oh, okay, so we'll buy that for Walmart time, 1,000 cases, 2,000, 100,000 cases or something. So they sell it $5, make $1, $1.50 on each roll like that. Something like that. I'm not sure. I try to get it, but I'm not real good at it. So then again, too, they say, well, convenience with the truck stops, you got to pay a little extra at the petrol and the T8 fuel. But I like to sit down and have a restaurant. Most of them are opening back up. Well, you pay a little extra, but you treat yourself more like a human being. The showers are great. The restrooms are clean, relatively. You go to a cheap place, cheap gas, man, you get piss all over the floor, shit all over the stalls. No toilet paper, fucking No restaurant, get greasy fried chicken or something if they have that, or candy bars or Hostess Twinkies, just junk food. Well, that's what you get, saying, bread or something. Okay, but let me grab that. Instead of getting $200 of fuel with $250, I get like $120. That way I don't spend too much, or I'm not going to take a shower because they charge you for that also. If you fill up, if you get over, it was 50 gallons, now it's 60 gallons. So they force you to. They also got now reserve parking close to the store. That's $14 a night. I park in the back because you got plenty of spots, and I make myself walk. It's only like a quarter of a block, 50 feet, 75 feet. If you can't do that, then you see some of these guys, some of these youngsters, they never get out of the truck, or they run in there, get a sandwich, they close the drapes, and they stay on the computer. Like, come outside for a minute, man. Take a walk, then take your dog out to take a leak or something. And then go get yourself a soda or a hamburger or something. That's a part of the thing with these brand new trucks where I see who drives them and what they do. I don't think it's good. I'm an old guy. I started out 15 years ago. I used to go in there at Walmart, Target, 2 o'clock in the morning, Virginia, Pennsylvania, whatever, Arizona. An hour too early, an hour too late. So they mixed up the appointment. Listen, once you go park for a couple hours, come back at 9 p.m. or midnight. We're busy right now, but after midnight till 5 o'clock in the morning, there's not a fucking thing going on. We'll unload you. Oh, okay, no problem. I go, go to sleep for a couple hours. Come back. Over there, they unload you. Go park. I got log books. So usually the timing works out just right. A couple hours. You got to get in this business 3, 4, 5 hour leeway, one way or the other, or as long as you got a couple of bucks, $50, $100, which you should. After a couple of years, you got to have a couple of bucks with you. And then if they reschedule you for the next day or 2 days later, or it's Friday night, and you got to wait till Monday night. Fuck it. And you go catch up on your sleep. Go take a shower. Go wash your clothes. Take the dog out, whatever. Play with your computer a little bit. Do something, occupy your time. You got to kill some time. That's if you're married, your wife should understand, because that's the nature of the business. You can't just say, I decided to take a load right now and go pick up the truck, pick that up this afternoon, haul ass to Virginia, and I'll have $2,500 by Saturday or next Monday, and then I'm going to drive straight back so I can be with my wife. Well, you're dead heading back empty. That's costing you money. And then we did that quick pay, God, the last 15 years. The last 4 or 5 years has been perfect every next day. You get your paperwork in by around 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon. The next morning, you got your money. But it used to be 2-day quick pay. And the JB Hunt, sometimes it'd be 5 days or 7 days. They got to contact the customer, this, that, and the other. And we got all that straightened out. Sometimes I've learned to keep enough money and don't be in a hurry. and you're going to wait on your money, like I say, go check the truck. You might have to go to the garage. I'll see how much money you got. You should have 2,000 or 3,000 in your bank account. You want to get a motel and wait 3 or 4 or 5 days, that's fine. Maybe get a girlfriend or something. If they got a swimming pool, I'd get my trunks and go in there, whatever. But you got to be able to wait for a few days. And so many times, guys, man, fucking JB Hunt and this and that. And I said, listen, you can see you're going nuts, and ain't your old lady working? They send me Western Union or whatever, put it on my debit card, send me $50. You got to work together. Get your ham and cheese and sandwich and soda or something. Get a thermos for your coffee, iced tea, whatever you like. And then go back to sleep, man. Go to sleep. I've slept 18 hours. I get tired, man. Fix your truck, do the little things, you want to clean the windows, and there's stuff to do. So that's what I say. If you get in a conversation, that's a blessing. Kill a couple of hours. You're sitting there bullshitting. Does you good, And your wife will talk to you. Your wife for an hour. She don't want to hear this shit anyhow. I hate to tell these guys like that, man. But, well, that's my actions. She don't even want to hear it. Say, you know what? Hey, fuck you. But you got to learn. I think I've learned how to. You can't go crazy every week, every time something don't work right. You got to look at your. You got to look at what what the whole business, the industry, and let's see if I turn this up a little bit. No, that's going down. Let's try that. Okay. So there's a lot of things involved, and then I'm not saying with this coronavirus thing you have to make some adjustments. And at JB Hunt, it's so big, and they got departments and all that. I have to learn. You have to learn, because the guy fucks you up. 2 guys fuck you up. Happens again. They get to, you're ready to hurt somebody, man. You're ready to quit. And it just came kind of natural. God, help me get through this. You get through it, and next thing, sometimes they fuck you over once or twice, 2 in a row. It's, what the fuck, man? Fuck these guys. And next thing it says, hey, you get a load that's paying money, taking 2 pallets, making $2,000 or $3,000, in a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, Next thing you know, you look at your bank account, take another load. You don't wait for nothing. The next day, you pick it up, you take it, boom, boom, boom. Made, I went from Jersey, Pennsylvania, Jersey. I went out to, what the fuck was it? Illinois, I think. I went out to Reno, Nevada. Holy shit, man. I dropped off, got a load the next day going back. I think I waited 2 or 3 days. And I went back to Jersey. I caught a load going to Jersey. That's 4,500. So 2, 3, 4 days going out, maybe 5 days, but took 2 or 3 days off, and then came right back. I think 3.5, 4 days, 9 or 10 days, a week and a half. Had $7,000. Yeah, I went to Bordentown over there on the exit 7A off the turnpike. I waited a couple of days, and I had some money from the first load. Also, you could take an advance with JB Hunt, 40%. So I get to Bordentown, and I look at my bank. I got like four $4,500, and then I waited a couple more days, and I got the rest of the payment. Got like $7,000 in 10 days. I ain't never made money like that. Tired, but I did it. Truck held up. And then, I took it to the shop. I got an oil change or something, $500. I went across the street. The guy sold me 2 good tires for $300 each. That's $600. There goes $1,000. So you got $6,000. I think I ate 5 meals in a row. I mean, over there they can cook. Oh my God, the food is unbelievable. The buffet over there. I mean, you come out looking like Santa Claus. Slept, took a shower. I think watching football. They got ice cream over there. I mean, got me a couple of packs of cigarettes. What else you want? So then you start looking. You sit down in a recliner chair, whatever, and you're looking at these company drivers in a hurry. Fuck it. Hey, man, slow down. Fuck it. I gotta go. Take the day off. Why don't you take the week off? Let's start. You don't have guys like that no more. My buddy guy, he says, I got $2 million. I don't know what to do with it. Well, he's 78. He got his brother, probably got the same thing. I'll be honest with you. I really don't know what to say to these guys. What I asked him, I said, I got some property over here by the truck stop in El Paso. You want to get 60 acres? Go there, put a fence around it, put up a 2 or 3, 4 truck garage, rent out parking spots, $85 a month, and let's go buy some old cars and work on them, fix them up, get some Mexicans to do the dirty work or whatever, or fix them up. A lot of them are good mechanics. They got a utility truck with a compressor and all that. You talk there, fix up some trucks like my buddies. They both got 79 internationals. I got these guys to paint the truck. We'll buy a couple other trucks, get the broker's license, stuff coming out of Mexico right here. Put in a couple of million and you probably get it back in 3 or 4 years, 5 years. You're going to be going, it's something other than just driving a truck. You've been driving a truck, the same shit for 30, 40 years, the same company, the same shit. Don't you get bored? You've been, my buddy's over there in Louisville, his wife's over there with him or something. Come over here, learn 2 words in Spanish, Taco Bell, everybody's your friend. It's something different for you. Run out to Vegas on the weekend, it's about a half-hour flight. Not even. What do you want, man? Let's make something happen. They want to talk to you. That's okay. I don't know what you got all this money and you're boring to me, but challenge yourself. Man. You're used to that rut. That's one thing I think I'm blessed because when I sobered up and all that, I've learned how to stick with something. I used to bounce around all the time to get a different job. And when I first started with my own truck and at JB Hunt and the paperwork and all that, nobody likes JB Hunt. Go to this company, go to that company. You got people, I'm looking on the internet, they pay more, but if they're Eastern European or Russian, they may fuck you out of out of the money. They had an office in Baltimore. They closed it, and now you're fucked. You owe me $3,000-4,000, and that's all I had. So now you're out of business. That's a hell of a risk. You say whatever you want about JB Hunt. They got work. I'm Mexican. I'm looking to work. So that's good for me. And then they're not going to stiff you. You know you're getting paid. They might run you around for 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week. That's only happened a couple of times in 15 years. But I see all the same mindset when I see some guys on YouTube or whatever. I'm just saying, it's a different way of looking at things. I'm not saying I'm right, but for yourself, look at your options. Think. That's an AA thing, and I had to learn how to. That's an AA. Think things through. Think. They say. Think it through. If I do this, don't come back to me like 5 years from now. I'm still trying to figure out. That's what I'm doing. I'm tired of that. I've been trying to figure out what my next step is. So at this point, or 5 years ago, I said, God, lead me to where I'm supposed to be. One time I said, I'm gonna kick ass. I'm gonna show the world who the fuck I am. And I was thinking, reading the Bible a little bit, and it says, to God goes the glory. And it popped in my mind, a dead center, hit me like a bullet between the eyes. I said, you're not giving God the glory. You're doing this so you can have bragging rights. So you can walk in a truck stop. Well, I got a new truck. I just made 10 grand today. Oh, cool, man. Let's go sit down and have some dinner and talk and bullshit. And somebody going, fuck you out of that money. That's another thing I realized. I talk to a lot of people, and you got to know what you're doing. So what I'm saying is I decided to learn, you kind of got a choice. You either learn mechanics or you learn high finance. So now that I got the mechanical part under control, now I can play with financing a little bit. But you got to figure out what things cost real quick too, with a truck. You put yourself out of business if you don't. I learned some hard lessons, and I feel good about myself right now because I'm still here, number one. And like I said, remember where you come from. I go, but I'm talking, I ain't got $10. You're looking at the next 2 or 3 days till you get another load or something. Or the TA. Some repairs you can do at TA, some you can only do at the dealership. Or somebody that really knows what they're doing. And that you gotta find these people, So talking about this connections, not stable, so I guess it's okay now. So just saying a number of things that my heart goes out to the whole country with all this and roll song. That's you're on drugs, you're on speed, you're out there drinking. No, I know where you're going to end up. If you're still alive and not going to prison for the rest of your life, you know. So if we change thing, I'm thinking is COVID. If we learn some lessons about China and this COVID and each other and the politicians, I think God is helping us with the transparency, because I noticed the Senate and the governors are talking. Well, Joe Biden don't want to look at the border crisis, but we all know. Now, when they say that, everybody in America knows what's going on. And I think with the internet or whatever, I think the American people know what's going on now. Because for years, I never paid attention. They got away with all kind of shit. And it's shame on us. We want them. We expect them to work for us. You're supposed to represent the people. Then you have to report a little bit. Say what this is what I want to hear out of the politician. Okay, we just did this, did something, passed this to help this situation over there. Okay, you know it's going to cost money. And then tell us, how much did it cost? How much is it going to cost? And how you going to make that money? Republicans don't want you. They change the subject real quick, so you're not thinking about it. That's not transparency. And Trump, who wasn't a politician, man, he'd tell you everything. God bless you. That's what I want to hear. That made me feel good about him. Now, he's not perfect, and there's 10 billion things we got to do. But I like the manner in which he did it. Biden, you don't know he's on vacation. He's riding his bike. He's pulling out of Afghanistan to show Biden don't want to answer no questions. We're going to come out with his 4-foot, 35,000 page. That's what we want to pass. Ain't nobody read that thing. What's in it? Well, you give us the reconciliation package first, and then we'll tell you what's in it. Hey, fuck you, man. You're saying the American people are that stupid. And if they are, then God bless them. But I don't think they are. I'm listening to all kind of people. All kind of people. It basically boils down to common sense and your God-given rights. It's about God all the time, really. If you want to look at it, if you don't want to look at it, duck and dodge and try to scam and con people, the truth shall prevail. I don't know, a little therapy, and if anybody can benefit or get an idea to how we're going to carry out this, take care of what we need to take care of. I was glad to see the Texas at border, a couple other states sending National Guard troops stop to make a barricade of Army tanks or Humvees or something. Because these people are seeing pictures of nothing but these people waltzing over the Rio Grande and coming in here like nothing. People from 150 countries, terrorists, murderers, terrorists are coming in, not checking nobody. Stop them, or at least let them know there's a presence, an American presence. It's not we're trying to keep them out, but we're trying to keep our own people safe. It's like I lock my doors at night. If you want to see me in the morning, man, I've spent nights and nights waiting for something to open up so I could eat or something. Well, you're gonna have to do. Who are you, man? You ain't no. I gotta open my doors and let you in whenever you come eat my food and take my shit. Don't work that way. I bought a kid a pack of cigarettes the other day. It wasn't a kid. He was 31. So, here, man, God bless you, man. Try to get yourself a little job or something. Not a simple guy, go to school or something. Do something, man. Don't come up to me like I'm your granddad, like I gotta buy you a pack of cigarettes. If you can't afford to smoke, don't smoke. The same way if you can't afford to drink, don't drink. If you can't afford the drugs, don't. That's part of the equation, whether you want to hear it or not. Uh, I had to learn. I had to learn. I was looking a lot of time in prison, and I had to change my attitude. I had to change the way I think. I was thinking, so you can see now too. I still have. I give up. Uh, God will guide me. I try to talk intelligently if I can, but sometimes the F word's the only way to describe a situation. That's what I'm saying. That you got no idea what I go through. So it's coming from my heart and what I've been through. I'm just trying to express myself the best I can to convey my message. And if it falls on deaf ears, it falls on deaf ears. I turn that over to, that's in God's hands. So I say I put my foot out there and to try this and see where we go from here in a civilized manner, And if they yank me off of this thing, not the first time, won't be the last, and just see what's getting me by temporarily. Anyhow, just try to ease my emotional pain or express myself, vent. That helps me. So, I mean, basically, I'm just looking at myself, but I'm hearing myself. I'm bouncing my stuff off myself, so I'm getting some benefit out of it, and hopefully, I can help somebody else a little bit. And this country's got problems. Got some serious problems, but. See, I don't know. I'm listening to these politics. I never paid attention to politics. There's all kinds of rules and need to be enforced and the procedures and all that. So I know I can do it because I dealt with my son's medical stuff. They dumped me in the deep end of the medical thing. You got to learn. Just do it. Make the best of it. You still go out and have, try to get something to eat. Well, I'm in seventh heaven now. I got cigarettes. I got ice cream and cake in the fridge. I got hamburgers, spaghetti, 7-Up. What else do I need? I'm going to get my car running. In fact, I think I'll go out and try to start it up right now. Going to be cooling down a little bit. El Paso still is kind of warm. It's 86. Anyhow, thanks a lot for listening. Let's see what happens. God bless America, all that. God bless everybody. And another day in paradise. Going back to work a couple of days. All right. Thank you for listening.